45. But the yogi who strives with assiduity, cleansed of all sins, perfecting himself through many lives, then attains to the highest goal. Such a yogi keeps making continued prayatna, or efforts. Shri Krishna uses the word prayatna, or efforts, over and over again in the 6th chapter of the Gita. You have to keep on making efforts. A person should not stop making efforts. If he keeps making efforts, then he will certainly attain siddhi, or spiritual powers. Our efforts should never stop. There is a blind saint who would go every day to worship at the temple. People found it very strange that this person was blind and could not see, yet he would come with his walking stick to the temple and just stand in front of God. One day a person could not sit quietly and asked him the following question. Mahataji, great soul, you are blind, so why do you come here? The blind man said, I come here to worship God. The person said, but you cannot see God. What is the benefit of you coming here? The Mahatma Digg gave a very nice answer. He said, Bhai, I may not be able to see God, but God can see me. And this is something to be surprised about. I come here every day and show my presence to God every day. I know that God is watching me and that He will bless me with His grace. This is called efforts. If I were to go further than the answer that the Mahatmaji should have given, it is that I am blind and so I cannot see God. But can you people with eyes stand in front of God's eye to see God? Who can put their hand on their hearts and say that I am worshipping God and that I come back every day from the temple having seen God? Very, very few people can say that. That is why we should worship every day, to give ourselves this assurance, because we may not be seeing God, but God is seeing us. Whether you understand the Gita or not, keep reading it regardless. The reason for this is that we may not be understanding it, but God is seeing that this person is making efforts. If God sees that we are short of intensity, then He gives it to us. Pratatam buddhi samyogam. And God is full of grace. Guruji says, believe him, God is incredibly full of grace. I did not understand the Sanskrit language. I admit with authenticity that I did not study the Sanskrit language at school. This is Guruji's saying. I can't speak Sanskrit either. What one calls a formal education of Sanskrit, Guruji never took that subject. Yet he loved the Sanskrit language like a mother. And today the Sanskrit language talks back to Guruji. Many people ask him how they could read the Gita when they do not understand the Sanskrit. I tell them to read it like I read it, because I did not understand Sanskrit, and yet I read it. One should strive with assiduity. One should have this love. If someone has a formal education of the Sanskrit language, then have a lot of admiration for them. But without having this formal education of Sanskrit, I understand these words of Sri Krishna. One should make such efforts. That is why Sri Krishna says in this verse, Prayatna Prata Manastu, one who strives with assiduity. Keep continuing making efforts. Why can you not do it? You will be able to do it. When a child is trying to stand up for the first time, then the mother is watching. The child is making efforts. It is not happening at the beginning, and the child's feet are scratching on the floor. The child is standing on 4 feet. Then the child is holding onto the wall and walking. The mother is just watching this. The mother gets a lot of bliss from seeing this. When the child is about to fall, the mother immediately goes and holds the child's hand. The mother does not let the child fall. The mother says, because you are making efforts, I am with you. Pralatna Dhyata Manastu. That's an incredibly moving example of what Guruji is saying. Only one thing is necessary in order to attain the Supreme Being. Making efforts to cleanse oneself of all sins. Nothing else is needed. One must continually make efforts for this. That is where we are falling back. We want everything ready-made. We want even God ready-made. If someone tells us to come with them so that they can lift us up and show us God, then we will immediately reach there to do so. If something could cost so little and take such little time, then what else could you need? this does not happen. You have to make efforts yourself. And Shri Krishna says in this verse that such a person has to be perfecting himself through many lives, not only one, but many. Therefore, a person may need more lives. This is about the future. So if you do not get siddhi or spiritual powers in this life, then the listening that you will have to do to get them in the next life. No, so from another point of view, if you come here after many births, having travelled on the path of yoga, and that is why God has come and sat with you. Therefore, do not look at the future. You want to aim for this life, and you are ready to make efforts, so you tell God not to postpone it. In the last lila, the divine play of Shri Krishna tells the gopis to go because they will remember him more when he is far away, and if he is close, then he will forget him. The gopis tell Shri Krishna, Lord, we have left our children, we have left our mothers, fathers, cows, husbands to come here. We may die, but we will not go back. You should have the courage to be able to tell this to God. Lord, now, please do not throw us into any more births. We have gone on this journey too many times. God once gave a seminar on earth. These seminars take place at many different places. Seminars of God in the universe. Sometimes God holds this at the Kailash. Sometimes God holds this at the Brahmapuri. Sometimes at Vaikunt. In this way, all the gods get together once a year to exchange their views. God said, let us do this, and told a seminar on the earth. All the gods came on the earth, and God was going, and so he got off at the station and had to go to the other side. There was a river in the middle. There was a boatsman sitting there. God said, Bhai, could you take us to the other side? The boatman said, God is coming on my boat. What would be greater than that? God had come in his uniform of his savaduk, with his disc, mace, conch in his hands, and so he realized that this was God. If God had changed from his uniform, then it would not matter, and the boatsman would not have recognized God. But God had forgotten. The boatsman realized this was Lord Vishnu who had come to sit on the boat. The boatsman or Tabat began to make the boat go around in circles, and on the shore on the other side, the shore did not come onto the other side. Tabat would bring the boat back where they started. God said, I'm getting late for my seminar. Why are you making the boat go around in circles? It is frustrating going around in circles. Tabat said, Lord, this is only the first circle, and if you are frustrated by this, then think about us, because you make us go around in so many circles. You are getting late in going to the seminar. God, we are getting late in coming towards you. These circles that you are making us go in, please do not make us go in them in the future. Here and now, we have gone through many births to get where we are, so please make us come to you now, God. I am not saying this because with my feelings, but with my intellect, that if I had not done good deeds and gone the path of yoga, then why would you have given me a human birth? God, you have given me a human birth, and with that you have called me toward you. God, each and every hint you are giving me shows that you want to come towards me, just like boys and girls at a college who are in a love affair count those hints and think that if someone did this, then they love the other person. Otherwise, they think about why they would otherwise do so. If they have been given a card for their birthday with a red rose, then that red rose signifies love. A devotee similarly collects such signs. So the boatman continues and says, you have given me wealth, intelligence, and made me interested in your activities. Otherwise, during this evening, I would not go and watch television. Why would I go and sit in front of you? All these are hints that you love me and are calling me towards you. And that is why I have had many births, and this should be my last birth. Call me toward you. God, I do not want the Bhagavad Gita highest goal in the future. I want it now.